Sitara, it looks like your mic is working, but it is still not working properly because your voice is coming from a mile, it feels like. Never mind, just type it out in the chat box if you can. Otherwise, I've already marked your attendance, so that's fine. Everybody else, please put up your name in the chat box and we shall start with the session now. Okay, great. So, hello everybody. Welcome to today's session about our course. Today we'll be going to learn about the basics of Revit and how to start up with the new project in Revit. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. Before that, I would like to just confirm with you all whether apparently, some of you haven't yet filled the form which was shared with you for accessing, giving you access for the software. So whoever hasn't submitted that form yet, please do it so that we can assign everybody the license, and accordingly, you guys will be able to start installing the software and practicing whatever we have, like we are going to start from today's session. Okay, so before starting with the session, I would like to share my screen and tell you that once you get the access, how do you proceed with installation the software. So it is just a few minutes thing. So I'll just show you that, demonstrate that part, so that after today's session, whoever hasn't got the access, they can once they get the access, they will be able to install the software and start the practice. Okay. Okay, Shweta, but I guess it's already there in the group. Did you join later? No, no. Answer, nobody has got the mail yet because still we are waiting for all the people to fill the form. We haven't received email IDs of all the students. That's why we haven't sent the mail to Autodesk yet. Shweta, could you please confirm me if you have received or did you join later on after the link was shared?
So I got a message, but my WhatsApp message all got deleted, so that's why I'm asking again.
Okay. Sure, Shweta, no worries. We'll reshare the message and link in the group.
Okay, so thank you.
Okay. And could you please confirm me? I forgot a student from fourth year who told me that they wouldn't be needing the access from KP classes. Is that person here today in the class? Doesn't look like. Okay, never
Excuse me,
mind.
sir. Sorry to have you interrupt.
No worries, Hira. Please.
I just got my network on, so I just lost some wordings of you. But I have a doubt. I have a student version of Revit already. Is that fine, or should I install it again?
No, no. If you already have your student version, then it's completely fine.
Okay, sir. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm going to share my screen just to let the people know how to start with the Revit installation and all, and then we'll start with the session part. Yes. Allow. Wow. Two. Okay, so is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So once you will receive the mail from KP Classes about Autodesk, you will have to create your account on Autodesk. Uh, Once you will create the account, you will receive confirmation or validation verification mail again from Autodesk. Once you verify your account, then you have to log in with help of your password and email address. After signing in your account, this is the home page, what you will receive or what you will be able to see. So it will have your name with citation. And after that, you will go to products and services. In products and services, you will scroll down and go to Revit. You will have to click on view details. Here you see we have got 4 versions of Revit available to install. So you will have to choose version 25 and click on install. It will install very small executable file. Once that file is downloaded, you will have to click on that and start installation. It will take maybe, depending upon your internet speed and your system configuration, it might take around 40 minutes to couple of hours at max. And after that, it will get installed on your system. Once it will be installed, when you will open it, it will prompt you to log in into your Autodesk with your Autodesk credentials, and then you will have your Revit running around. Okay, so that's a very small process. After today's session, most likely, once we have all our email addresses from students, then we'll provide the access to everybody, and then you can start this process. In case if somebody faces any issue or any concern, please let us know either on the group or else we can discuss it in the doubt session as well. Sure. So that was about the installation part. Now we'll start with the session. So I'm sharing my screen again with Revit. Okay, so please confirm me if my Revit screen is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. So this is the home page of Revit version 25. It is, in case if you guys have worked with Revit before, earlier, then you might be able to see that this homepage is little different as compared to the previous versions. And this the reason being that Revit Autodesk has introduced a new design for this version. In case if, but at the same time, Autodesk has also provided the option to get it back to the familiar interface. So you guys will be having this particular option on your screen, which is new Revit Home. So right now it is enabled. So that's why with the new version, all the families, all the projects, all the models, everything, they are clubbed together. We are not able to see any distinction between them. Earlier, I'll just turn it off back to basic version. So this is the old interface. What happened? Mhm. Wow, home page is not. I'll have to restart the Revit. Yes, Garima, please.
So, since I'm using Revit from 2 to 3 years, so basically, in my laptop, I have softwares other than Revit as well. Like I have AutoCAD, SketchUp, Twinmotion, D5, and all. So basically, the Revit does not work simultaneously with the CAD. Like I cannot use both the softwares at the same time. Also, my Revit takes a lot of time to open itself.
Okay, so could you please let me know what is the configuration of your system?
Oh, so just give me a second.
Sure.
So like it is Dell G15 5530.
From the year, how old is your system?
Like it's like I got it in October 2024.
24, so 1.5 year only.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is the RAM?
Uh, I'm not sure. Uh, so
So,
I'll just check and I'll let
okay,
you know.
no worries. Actually, what we'll do, like whatever questions you guys might be having with your system or installation or anything, we will discuss all those in our next session, which is going to be doubt session. Okay, so where there will be having a couple of hours to discuss every doubt regarding everything. Today, let's discuss the information or the basics, what we intend to do, and after that, we'll start in the next session. We'll discuss everything pertaining to your queries. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible back. So this is the basic version of Revit, which was there earlier. In there, we were able to distinguish models as a separate tab and families as a separate tab. So what are models, what are families? These are the things which will be definitely covering in more and more detail into our upcoming sessions. But for now, in a brief, I'll let you know that model is a project which is any kind of building, or it could be like not necessarily building, it could be landscaping as well, it could be any infrastructure, it could be any other typology of project as well. But the complete design or complete environment is called as model, wherein the components which are used to create the model. So all those small components, they are called families. Okay, so this is the basic and foremost difference between a model and family, right? You guys need to be aware about this differentiation in terms of theoretical knowledge as well, because this is something which which could be asked from you guys in the interviews as well, right? So models and families, they were generally used to be distinct and distinguished as a separate tab earlier. Wow, something is going wrong with my Revit. What's happening? I hope it shall not go away again. So with the earlier versions, there were models and families were given in separate tabs. But now with the new interface, Autodesk has clubbed everything into same interface. Okay, so in case if you are not able to distinguish elements by the home screen, we have got another option over here with list view. So in list view, we can find out that what file is of which type. So here we can see that this is central model, this is family, then this normal model. So all these types are something that we'll be discussing in more detail with our respective upcoming sessions. But for now, you can just note it down that as soon as you will open the Revit 25, you will have this home screen. There you will be finding a lot icons where which will be either through sample project or sample families or something like that. Okay. So once you have your Revit screen opened up, we generally start with model or family. So we have already discussed that what is model, what is family. Now, how to start with a model? So either you will click on open and get your respective location and open the existing project. But since we are starting with the session, so here we'll see that how to start with a new project. Okay. So it is very simple that we have to click on new. Once you click on new to start a new model, you will get this small window where you see that we have got few options, few lists as well. So what are these options and these informations that we need to look into? So first option, first information which we are able to see is template file, right? So as soon as we try to start a new model or project in Revit, Revit will always ask us to choose the template. So now the question is, what is template? Template is the predefined settings actually. So template is a predefined settings by Autodesk itself, which helps us to get predefined or pre-installed families and other information into the file so that it will give us more flexibility to work around in the Revit file. So I'm sure that maybe some of you guys might be aware about this, but most likely not everybody would be. So in Revit file, generally there are settings which are required to have a smooth working in that file. So depending upon the discipline, okay, let me just click on this drop down. So now we see that we have got different type of templates. One is construction, one is architectural, then structural, mechanical, system, electrical, plumbing. So what does this mean? That depending upon the discipline, any individual will choose that particular template so that they will get the settings which are required for smooth functioning in that project pertaining to that particular discipline. Okay, so let's start with a few of these templates so that I can demonstrate you the differences as well. So let's start with the architectural template. Then again, let's start with the structural template. We'll again go to new and we'll start with mechanical. So this first one is the architectural template. If you see in the project browser, I guess I'll tell you the differentiation afterwards. Let's first start with these things only. So here we have to choose the template in which you would be working. Since we all are architects, so we have to most likely we are going to work with architectural template only. Okay. So once you choose the architectural template, it will give you option of either creating a new project or creating a new project template. So project template is as we just discussed, that project template are the settings which could be used to start a new project, right? So generally we prefer to choose a template and start a project. But depending upon your requirement or the organization requirement where you would be working, sometimes it might be required for you to create a project template as well. So there you just have to choose the option between instead of project to project template, and then whatever work you will be doing, it will be based to create a project template file. So we'll be discussing all these things in detail in today's session as well. For now, we'll start with the project. So since we already have got architectural template project, let me also do one more thing. Okay, so this is most likely what you will be able to see on your Revit screen once you will install it for the first time. Okay, so over here we can see that we have got these few icons, and we have got a lot of information on top of our screen and bottom of our screen as well. So what are these things? Let's just discuss these all information in brief, and then we'll dwell into more details of it. So on the top, we have got all the tabs pertaining to different disciplines as well. We see we have got architecture tab, then structure tab, steel tab, precast tab. So as the tab names itself speaks for itself, so it makes us very clear that architecture tab is something that will be used most of the times by architects working on the project, right? Then again, structure, steel or precast. These tabs are something that are going to be used by structural engineers or civil engineers, right? Similarly, systems is a tab where MEP engineers or HVAC engineer or firefighting engineers, so they will be using mostly these the system tab in the Revit. So although as an architecture students in our college, we might have used Revit mostly for architecture domain, right? But Autodesk has created this software as a universal software so that any project could use only this single software to get all the disciplines working on the different facet of that project. Okay, so that's why that is also one of the main reason because of which Autodesk Revit is being used universally for in throughout countries for different projects, because it has given the platform for all these disciplines to work in the same software so that integration could be very seamless, right? So after discipline related tabs, we have got more common tabs which are useful for all the disciplines. So first is insert tab. Insert tab is used to get more information into a project. External file, it could be external file, it could be external data, it could be other Revit file or all the other formats. So all those additional information, external information could be used in the Revit file with help of insert. Then we have got annotate tab. So annotate tab is used for mostly documentation part. Till from architecture to insert, not I won't say that till insert only, but generally these are the initial tabs which are going to be used for modeling part, right? Then we have got annotate, which is going to be used for documentation part. Then we have got Analyze tab. So Analyze tab is something which is used for simulations regarding that project or any other analysis, be it architectural, be it sustainability, be it structural, be it any other domain related analysis. So all those analysis are kind of given or used through Analyze tab. Then we have got massing and site. So massing and site is something which is paramount for any of the project, because we need terrain or topography or site to start the project, right? So topography or toposolid is something which is going to be created with help of massing and site tab. Then massing is another important part of Revit where we can create our conceptual designs, which need not to be linear in its form. So any kind of organic or free flowing form or wavy designs that could be conceptualized with help of massing in Revit. I'm pretty sure that you might have heard earlier that Revit is a very stringent software which has got a lot of constraints regard as long as the geometry is concerned. But at the same time, Revit also has got massing tool which lets you create any kind of non-linear form as well. Although it has also got its own constraint and rules, but still, if you want to create anything other than rectangular or angular or some other shape or form, then massing is the tool with help of which we can do that. Then comes the collaborate tab. So collaborate tab is the work sharing element or property which helps or which let all the other individuals or different stakeholders or discipline people to work on the same file from different locations. So how do we use all those settings? That will be looking into in our one of the future session. But for now, you need to be aware about that collaborate tab is the one which helps us to share our work with other people, right? Then comes the view tab. So view tab is something which helps us to make changes into our visualization of the drawing of the documentation or 3D elements as well. At the same time, the flow plans or all the information pertaining to the documentation part that could be added up from the view tab, right? I'm just going to give you brief of all these steps because all these steps are going to be discussed in more and more detail into our future sessions. As you might have already received the schedule for our course. So there you would be able to see that we have got all these steps as a separate session also, right? Then we have got this manage tab. So manage with help of manage tab, we can control the information in our drawing pertaining to line weights, pertaining to object styles, pertaining to snapping, pertaining to materials, pertaining to units, phasing. So all those information could be controlled with help of manage tab, right? Then we have got add-ins. So add-ins tab is something which helps us to export our Revit file and Revit information into different outputs. Although here right now we can see that it has got limited options, but definitely we'll be seeing this tab also in more detail in the future session. Then we have got this modify tab. So modify tab is something which is more relevant and more easily understandable because most of us have already worked on AutoCAD, right? So all the tools, all the commands which were available in AutoCAD, they are more or less available in Revit as well, but only in the modify tab. So if you see the modify category, it has got all the commands as align or move or offset, copy, mirror, rotate, trim. So all these tools which we have worked with in AutoCAD, so all these tools are available in Revit in modify tab. Okay, so modify tab is something which is going to be used throughout your working in the Revit file. Be it doesn't matter which discipline you are working with, but whenever you are working with your modeling part or your documentation part, so modify tab is going to be the common tab with help of which you will be executing your work. Okay, so this is about the top part of our Revit screen. Then we have got this bottom tab as well on the screen, which has got different icons. They are not as elaborative as we can see on the top of the top of our screen, but these bottom icons as well, they are quite important. So we'll be discussing about these icons in our future sessions more. While studying the project, what we need to ensure is that we are aware about all the tabs which are available on the top of our screen, right? So after being aware about all the tabs on the top part, one thing which is very essential to start working with Revit file is we have to ensure that we'll go to view tab, and in the user interface we'll switch on project browser first thing. Why so? Because if your project browser is not available on your screen, you will not be able to navigate through your Revit file pertaining to different views of your model. So in project browser, we can see now that we have got views, we have got legends, we have got schedules, we have got sheets, families, groups, Revit links. So all the information which is there in your Revit file that could be navigated through, that could be controlled, that could be seen only through project browser. There is no other way with help of which you can see the information in your Revit file. Okay, so as soon as you open the Revit software, you have to ensure that in the view tab, going to the user interface, you switch on the project browser. Okay. So in the project browser, we do see all these different information available in the project. Now coming back to the project template part. So before starting describing all these information, we had created three different new projects, right? With help of three different template files. So now since we can see what all information is available in the Revit file by default at the starting point itself. So now you will be able to see that how different templates make that difference. So here we can see that this was, but at the same time, you need to remember that you will not be able to see once you have chosen the template and started the project. After that, you will not be able to see that which template you used to start the project. Okay, so that's why it is very important that whenever you are starting a project, you have to choose a template very carefully, because after that, you will not be able to change the template as well. And neither you will be able to see that which template you are working in, right? So this was the template which we created. This was the project which we created with architectural template. So here we see that we have got two floor plans, actually three floor plans: level 0, level 1, and side plan. Then we have got ceiling plan, 3D views, elevations as well, right? Let's first see the differences between a few templates, and then we'll dive in into more details about all these views. So the first option is with agricultural template. Second option, this one is with structural template. So here we can see that we have got additional views in terms of structural plans, right? Actually, not additional views. These are the different category altogether. In architectural view, we had got floor plans. In the structural template, we got structural plans, right? And in the structural plan as well, we have got additional plans in terms of analytical, with name of analytical plan, right? Over here in architecture one, we didn't had any an analytical plan, but in structure we have those. Why? Because structure discipline would be needing to perform analysis of their flow plans in terms of load calculation, in terms of bar bending, right? So because of that reason, it has got different settings. Then the third one is with mechanical HVAC, right? So here, if you see, we have got a lot of different flow plans by default itself. We see we have got mechanical category, we have got plumbing category, we have got all these flow plans, ceiling plans. So that's why it is very important to choose the correct template. If you choose the wrong template, then your working will be quite difficult. Okay. So is that clear, guys? Hello.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I would like you guys to give me the confirmations frequently, so that I am also clear that you all are getting what I'm discussing with you. Okay. In case if somebody have any question, please raise your hand or put it in the chat box, so that I'll also check the text box frequently, so that I can see your doubt, and we can discuss it there itself. Right. So this was about the templates. Now let's start with, I'll close the mechanical and structural template file. Now we have got just architectural template file. So this is the project with architectural template. Here we have got two floor plans and a site plan, and then all these other different views. So on our home screen now, we can see that we have got these four icons. So what are these four icons? These icons are for elevation. These are elevation tags. If we open up elevation category, we see we have got four elevations and we have got these four icons. So that's why we need to ensure that we are having the same information visible on our screen and in the project browser. Okay. Now let's start with the main part of our session, which is about starting with the project. So when we have to start with the project, first thing which we need to ensure is that we'll go to the manage tab and we'll check the units. So this is this icon in manage tab, where with help of which we can check the units. it has also got shortcut, which is also being visible on our screen in the brackets UN. So if you will press UN on your keyboard, you will get this window for project units. From this window, we can definitely choose our required units. So let's say right now it is millimeters. Let's switch on to meters with 2 decimal places. Okay. So as of now, on our view, we are able to see only the elevations, right? But other than that, we are not able to see any other information pertaining to our project. Why so? Because in the floor plan, you will not be able to see any information related to height of any height in the project. So how can we check the height in the project? We'll have to go to any of the elevation view, right? So we can activate the elevation view by two means. First is we can simply just double click on the project browser elevation view, and that will open the elevation view. So here we can see that we have got two levels which are also synchronized with the floor plans. So level 0 and level 1, and it has got height difference of 4 meters, right? So in floor plan, you will be able to see only the elevation tag, and in elevation, you will be able to see the floor plans available in the Revit file. Because they both are perpendicular to each other, so that's why we will not be able to see anything related to floor plan in the floor plan and floor plan view, and nothing related to elevation tags or elevation icons in the elevation view, right? So that's how we'll be able to see the information pertaining to different views. Now, the essential part for starting any of the project are you need to be aware about that how many floors or how many levels are going to be there in your building, and depending upon the size or the form of your building, how your grids will be coming up over there, right? So these two very important information, they are in the architecture tab, they are known as datum elements. So starting of the project, we have to ensure that we have placed our datum elements correctly. We have to place our datum elements first thing, and then we will start with our next phase of the project, which is modeling or documentation or any other thing. But at the first step, we have to ensure that our datum elements are in place. Okay. Is that clear, guys? Datum elements, labels and grids together, they are called as datum elements. Because these are the information which is going to be consistent or common throughout the project pertaining to different disciplines. It doesn't matter whether you are working on the architecture part or structure or MEP or any firefighting. Your modeling part or your other information pertaining to that discipline could be different, but the levels and grades, they are going to be same throughout all the disciplines, right? So right now we can see that we have got only two levels. Now we'll learn that how can we get more levels into our project. So I'll just extend. Okay. So to create new levels or to insert new levels in your Revit file, there are certain different processes actually. So we'll start by first one. So when we go to elevation, okay, in the floor plan view, if we see it is the level option is now disabled, because level is only going to be, since it is a perpendicular view in elevation, that's why it could be generated only in elevation view. In floor plan view, you will not be able to create any level ever, right? So that's why we have to ensure that we are in any of the sectional view or in elevation view to create the levels, right? So how to create levels? Once you are in elevation view, you just simply go to this icon over here. It has also got shortcut, which is LL. So let's press LL on our screen on the keyboard, and there your level command will get activated. Whatever command will get activated, you see right now this modify tab is normal. But as soon as I press LL on my keyboard, you see this modify has changed its color, and also it is showing the command which is activated right now, place level. Okay. So whenever you will activate any command, your modify tab will get in different color to show you that which command you are working, right? So to create the level, you see on the screen that we have got our cursor, and it has also got blue dimension. So this is the temporary dimension which will give you idea that what height you are going to place your level. Okay, so this is completely temporary, and you can, as soon as you will move your cursor up and down, it will change, and accordingly you can choose the height and start placing the level. Okay, so let's say we have got 4 meter of height. So let's place the next level also at 4 meter, right? So again, let's say for next one, we'll make it 5 meters. So now we have got two levels in here, right? Okay. So this was the first process, LL. Then next one is you choose the level in the elevation, and you press the shortcut on keyboard CS, which is a shortcut for create similar. Okay. So with create similar also, you will activate the command, and again simply follow the same process, right? So these are the two processes. Then the next one is you choose the command, you choose the level, and in the modify tab, you have got this copy command. So you activate the copy command, and you can simply choose the height at what level you want, at what height you want the level. Again, another aspect of copy command is once we activate the copy command, you see, okay, I'll also again show you. So unless you have got any command activated, you see on top we have got this blank tab, right? But once we select any element, it will show you the property of that element. And once you activate the command, any command pertaining to that element, it will again show you different options pertaining to that command. Okay. So pertaining to any activated command, you will have different options or different settings or properties which will be visible only in this particular tab. So always ensure that you are checking these properties as well. Otherwise, there might be few things which might keep on happening, and you might be getting confused about it, why this is happening. So these small icons, they sometimes make a very chaos in the project if you are not very knowledgeable about those aspects. Okay. So here, if you choose the multiple command, then Revit will allow you to have multiple levels without activating the command again and again. So this brings the question that in case if Revit is allowing us to place the multiple levels, then how do we terminate the command? So whenever you want to terminate any command, there are two options. First is you drag your cursor over this modify icon or tool. Once you click on this modify tool, your command will get deactivated. It will get terminated, right? That is first way. Second way is whenever you want to skip out the command, you just need to press escape key on the keyboard, and again your command will get terminated. Okay. Right. So after that, the fourth command or the fourth way in with help of which we can create levels is, it is also similar to copy only, but it's just a different tool, different command which you all might be already aware with, array command. And definitely you all must have used that command in AutoCAD as well. So it works in the same way in Revit as well. So we just need to select the level, and here we have got this array command with shortcut of AR. So once you start the command, we have got these options. So we'll just make it at 5 meter, and let's say I got 10 levels. So you see, now we have got all the different levels in our model, right? So all these four processes to create new levels, is that all clear? Sure, Garima. So I'll undo this one. Okay. So once we select the level and click on array or press AR on the keyboard, it will activate the array command. Here we have got different properties to it. So first is linear array, then second is radial array. So here, since we do not need radial, so we'll just keep on a linear array. We have got different commands over here. So first is move to second or move to last. So what Revit is essentially asking us, that where we want to place our element. Does the element going to be the second element, or does the element going to be the last element? Since we have chosen the second element, I'll show you actually both the examples. So here we selected the element and gave the value of 5 meter. So it implies that we have placed the element in a way so that it is going to be second element. And now we can choose that how many elements we want there. So let's say I inserted this number 10 over here. And now Revit has taken that 5 meter as a distance between two elements and created 10 levels for me. Okay. Let's say this is what? 5, let's make it 6 meters. Okay. I'll choose array command again, and instead of second, I'll choose this last command. And here I'll make it 5 meters. Right. So we see that we have got another level over here, but now I can choose that how many levels I want to have in between these two. So if I say, let's say I got 4 elements, 35, 36, 38. So you see, it has divided that whole distance into 4 equal distances. Does it make sense? Array, last, let's say 4 and 5. Okay, Garima. So it is almost similar to AutoCAD only. Only difference is that we have option to choose whether we want the element to be second or the last. Right? Okay. So now we have got our required levels in the model. But one thing which you would have noticed is that we have got so many levels over here, but we do not have the same floor plans in the project browser. Okay, answer, sure. I'll delete all these. So we clicked on array command, and let's say I want to have it as 20, right? So it shows that we have got the maximum distance between two elements as 20 meter, what we inserted. And now we can choose that how many elements we want to have in between those two. So let's say I gave 5. So now it has divided the total distance of 20 into 5 equal parts. So we have got 1 element, 2 element, 3 element, 4th element, and 5th element. If we change this value to 10, so it divided those into further equal parts. So unlike second element, where it will just keep on increasing it on top of each other, when we choose the last option, it will just keep on adding elements in between. So that is the main difference between the second option and the last option. And this is also something which is easily changeable. Let's say if I make it 2, so it is now just 2 elements. Okay. Right. Now let's see the flow plan part. So we have got all these levels in our model, but still we are not able to see the flow plans pertaining to those levels. Why so? Because Revit has got this setting where it lets you choose that which particular level you want to have flow plan of. Because in terms when it comes to multi-level building, which has got like so many stories, so not necessarily you will be having all the flow plans required in the project, right? In multi-level building, we have got typical flow plans as well, where we know that from certain level to certain level, the flow plan is going to be same. So why do we need to have same flow plan multiple times in the project file? Because the more number of views and the more information you will have in your file, it will be getting bigger and bigger in size. So because of that reason, Revit lets you choose that which particular level you want to create flow plan. Okay, so how do we do that? Whenever we want to create a flow plan of any particular view or of any particular level, we go to the view tab. In the view tab, we have got this plan views, right? When we click on this drop down, we have got this option of flow plan. We have got different plan views option here as well, with which we will be looking into our future sessions. Today, we are going to look into flow plan. So in plan views, we'll go to the option of flow plan. Once we click on flow plan, it will give you the options to choose from the levels available in the project. So let's say I choose the option of level 5. So it created the flow plan of level 5, and you see in the project browser, we can see the level 5 is now available. And at the same time, another thing what you need to see that earlier, okay, let me try to undo this. Yeah, okay. So right now, other than level 1, level 0 and level 1, the icons for these these are blue in color, and other than that, every other level is black in color, right? So that also makes it very clear when it comes to visual essence that whatever flow plan will be available in the project browser, they will be having the color as blue. But any other level which is not being visible in your project browser, they will be denoted by black. Yeah, that will be denoted by black arrow or black this level head. Is that clear, guys? So if we go to the view and create a flow plan and choose the level 5, it created level 5 flow plan, and in the elevation now we can see that level 5 has turned from black to blue, Right, guys? Is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So that's how we can create whatever flow plan we want in the project file. Doing the vice versa process is possible, but not necessarily feasible. What does that mean? That in case, let's say I change level 4, level 6. Sure, I'm going to repeat it with help of this example itself. So you see that when we have got level with black tag, it is not being visible in the flow plan in the project browser. But when it is blue, it definitely means that it is going to be visible in your project browser. You see level 6, so we can see level 6. So level 6 is blue, level 6 is visible in the project browser. Level 7 is black, level 8 is black, it is not visible in the project browser. Right, Emma? So once you choose or once you create, let's say this is level 3. So level 3 is black and it is not visible in the project browser yet. But once we click or once we create the flow plan of level 3, you see now we have got level 3 in the project browser and in the elevation it has changed from black to blue. Is that clear now, Emma? Okay. Okay, Garima. So let me undo this. Okay. So on the screen right now we can see that all these levels are black in color. Correct? But once we go to the plan view and create a flow plan pertaining to any of those level, let's say level 6, level 5, level 4, we can choose two levels as well at the same time and create a flow plan of these. So you see now these level 4, level 5 are visible in the project browser as well as they have changed their color from black to blue. Right. Sure. So we just saw that how can we change or turn our typical typical flow plan into a non-typical flow plan, right? Earlier we had mentioned that all these black levels, they means that the flow plan is not changed on these levels. They are typical levels, right? So we just saw that how do we change typical level into non-typical level. Now, in case if you, for some reason, if you decided later on that you have got these level 4 and level 5 also as typical. Let's say level 4 is non-typical, but level 5 is same to the level 4. Yes, I am. Flow plans could be added only with help of elevations or sections because flow plans are perpendicular or the elevation or sections are perpendicular to the flow plan. That's why we can add those through perpendicular views only. Okay. So we just saw that we changed Anaka. If we click on the levels, it opens a new tab. Architecture level. It opened up a let me check your question again. No, once we click on level tab, level tool in the architecture tab, it activate the command, but it activates this command only in elevation view or section view. If we go to the flow plan, you see our level command is not even activate, is disabled completely. We cannot even activate the command in the flow plan. So you need to be in elevation view or section view, which is perpendicular to the floor plan view. Then only your command will be enabled. And once you click on this command, you will have this window open. The option which you are saying is pertaining to the view plan. If you want to create a floor plan, there you will get this window with help of which you will create the floor plan, not level. Level you will have to create only in elevation or section, and no window will pop up to create the levels. Okay, these levels are there to create the floor plan. Right. All right. So coming back to the point that we changed our typical flow plan to a non-typical flow plan, right? But in case if you want to change our non-typical flow plan to a typical flow plan, that is, we want to make our level 5 to be same as level 4, right? So that means that we do not need level 5 flow plan in the project browser or in the project file. So how do we do that? We can simply delete this part. Once we delete the floor plan over here, we see that our level 5 has again turned into black instead of blue. Right? Is that clear, guys? So we can very easily change our typical floor plan to non-typical floor plan and non-typical to typical as well. Okay? So that's how we can get our required levels and floor plans in the Revit file. Got it? Shall we head on to the next part? Or do you guys have any other query? No responses? Okay, I hope everybody has got it, because in case if these things are not clear, it will become problem at the later stage. So you need to ensure that everything is clear. Okay, right. So now let's head on to the next part. So we saw the first data element, which are levels, and just keep a note of it that levels could be placed up only in elevation view or section view. Now let's head to the floor plan. So the second data element is grid. So grid is not something which is visible only in one view, right? And neither it has got restriction that it could be placed only in floor plan or in elevation view. So if we have got both the views opened up on our screen, one is floor plan, one is elevation. So if we go to the elevation view, we see that grid option is still enabled, right? And in the floor plan also grid option is enabled. So that means that we can place grid in elevation view as well as in floor plan view. Whatever grid will place in any of the view, it is going to be visible similarly in the floor plan or in the other view as well. Whatever grids will place in floor plan, it will visible in elevation. Whatever grids will place in elevation, it will automatically be visible in floor plan as well. Okay, so let's start placing the grids. To place the grid as well, we have got another shortcut, which is GR. If you remember the shortcut, it is very good. In case if not, then simply click on the grid icon or grid tool and it will activate the command. So IMA, in case if you want to delete the level completely, you have to go to the elevation and select that particular level and press delete. So that will delete the level entirely. Let's say this is I'm reading through your question, Garima. So let's So when we add multiple levels after deleting any level in between, Revit automatically remembers that it will not have any level with the same number. Revit doesn't allow to have two different levels with the same name. So in case if when creating the levels, you see that some of the levels are skipping or have got skipped out, then you can rename them as well. So let's say if so now we can see that after level 8, we have directly got level 29. Why so? Because we had created so many levels, but we had deleted those as well, right? So, but definitely we do not want level 29 directly after level 8. So Revit gives us option to change the name of this level as well. But it doesn't allow to have the same level which is already existing in the project. You see, Revit gave us the warning that name is already in use. So in case if any level which might not be visible on the screen, but it is still existing in the project, you will not be able to get the same name for that. Okay, Karima? Right. And Aima, I guess I answered your question as well, that we can just simply choose the level and delete it entirely. At the same time, if we choose the non-typical level and delete this one, you see Revit will give you warning. Earlier, we deleted the level 5, which was a typical floor plan. It didn't had a floor plan associated to it. It was just a level. But level 4, since this is a non-typical floor plan which is visible in the project browser, that's why Revit gave us warning that two elements in one view will be deleted and view floor plan level 4 will be deleted. So in case if you want to delete the floor plan, the level and all other things associated to it, then press OK and it will delete everything. So now in the project browser, we can see that level 4 is also gone, right? Okay. Let's delete this also. All right. Okay. So let's start with grids now. So with grids, we can simply just activate the command and we just need to use our mouse, 2 clicks, and it will create a grid for you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we got 4 grids in x-axis and we'll use the same for y-axis. So this is as simple as just pressing your mouse twice in any direction, and not necessarily have to be straight. You can have it as diagonal as well. Okay, so that's how you will get your grids. One thing what you might be noticing is that we didn't give any numbers to the grids, but Revit automatically got those numbers in place, right? We started with 1 and automatically it got to the number 8. But what if you want to have different numbers for the grids? So that we can achieve with help of initial command. We'll choose the grid. Now I'll change the name of this to A. After changing the name, the next grid, whatever I will create, it will follow the same nomenclature rule. Okay. So whenever you want to change the name of the grids, you have to create one grid, change the name of it, and afterwards Revit will automatically create in the progressive manner. Okay, is that clear? Any questions, guys? Great. So whatever grids we created in the floor plan, if you see in the elevation, we have got the same grids. But obviously all the grids will not be visible in all the elevations because they are perpendicular constraint. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 in east elevation. So that means we north elevation it will be ABCD, right? Yes, Hira, it will be visible for typical plans as well. So let's say, but for typical plans, since we do not have the floor plan, right? So in case if you want to first create, if you want to have any particular view for typical floor plan, you have to first create the plan view. There, definitely the grids will be visible. Okay. So that's how we can create levels and grids. Together, levels and grids, they are called as datum elements. And to start any project, datum elements are the paramount. Without levels and grades, we cannot work with any project in Revit. Okay, so these four things, having your units, having your levels, having your grids, and the right template. These four things are essential to start any project in Revit. Okay, now what are the sure, Emma. So when we start the grid option, we have got these four options over here. So here we can choose the linear grid, which we have already seen now. So there are two more options, which is radial. So we'll just simply how we generally draft it in AutoCAD. So similarly, we do it in Revit and it will create your radial grids. But as compared to linear grids, the radial grids will not be necessarily visible in all the elevation views because grids needs to be perpendicular to the view, then only it will be visible in that respective view. Otherwise, you will not be able to see, let's say for now, if we see the elevation, we cannot see those radial grids in our elevation. So to create or to have your radial grids visible in the view, you need to ensure that that particular view is perpendicular to the grid. Otherwise, you will not be able to see the grids in that particular view. So this is a constraint, and there is no turnaround way to have those grids visible in your elevation or section view where your view is not perpendicular to the grid. So this is a constraint which Revit gives us, and there is no way to get it sorted out. In floor plan, definitely you can have whatever type of grid you want, but in elevation, it will be problem to have those visible. Okay, sure. So any other questions about levels or grids? Since nobody is responding, I guess everybody is pretty clear. Okay. So let's look into a few more things for the basic of starting of the project. We saw that we set up the unit as well at the starting of the project. But unlike AutoCAD, Revit has got a distinct characteristic to it, where even in case if you forgot to change the unit at the starting, still it is not a big deal because you can change the units in Revit at any point of time. And why it is a very important point to note, because when you can change the grade unit at any point of time, that means that just give me a second. Right. So that means that Revit is working differently as compared to AutoCAD. In AutoCAD, we had seen that in case if we change, if we have to change the units later on, we have to scale things either in increasing order or in decreasing order, right? That is the only way with help of which we can make our information in drawing relevant or equal or matching with the units. But in Revit, it works differently. So let's say I'm just placing a distance. Okay. So you see, I have got these distances marked in my drawing. Now, later on, for any reason, I have been given instruction that this project needs to be worked in imperial units. Right now, it is in metric units, right? So, in case if we go to units and change the units to imperial system, you see Revit automatically changed the units, and it is we do not have to make any scaling at anywhere. So that's why having the units set up in the initial stage is not as mandatory as it would have been in AutoCAD. All right. So that's why the most important part about Revit is that whatever we are working, the elements or modeling or drafting anything, in Revit interface, it is happening in 1:1 scale. So the even if we change the units, even if we change the scale, it doesn't matter at all. The size which we have inserted or which we have placed in Revit is going to be same irrespective of the units, irrespective of the scale. 4-meter wall or 4-meter height is going to be same. Whether you measure it in feet and inches, whether you measure it in whether you measure it in miles or any other unit. It will have same conversion automatically done for itself. Okay, Hira. So scale, it shows 1:100 over here, but it is irrespective of the information. The scale at the screen, it is only useful when it comes to the documentation part, as well as when it comes to the part of the project of for which you would be working. So let's say this is right now maybe a larger part of the project, right? But no, I would say, yeah, this is a larger part of the project. But what if you want to work only in this much of part? Let's say here, yeah, you want to work only this part of the project. But now you are able to see that all the information is looking quite big in size, right? So in that context, once you change the scale from here, let's change this to meter. Okay. Now if we change the scale over here, you see the sizes of the grid heads, they have reduced. So changing the scale on your screen, it has got two implications. First is you will be able to work around in smaller areas by having your elements being smaller in size. Okay, so that is the first implication. Next implication is only related to documentation part. So I'll show you demonstration of that as well. Very quick one. So this is a sheet. Okay. And we got this floor plan dragged down to the sheet. We'll look into all these details later on as well. I'm just giving you a demonstration of the scale. Okay. So here we see that this particular area is being coming up on the sheet at 1:100 scale, right? But if I go back to my floor plan and change it to 1:25. So first thing which you already saw that our information, it has got reduced in size. But what that essentially means, if we go to the sheet now, you see now the information is coming out of the sheet area. So that's why scale is more important in terms of documentation, because you have to ensure that whatever information you have got in your floor plan or any other view, that is able to fit in on the sheet. Accordingly, you have to choose the scale. Okay, so those are the two implications for scale. For better working, you can definitely change the scale, but to have it come exactly or feasibly fitted on the sheet, you have to ensure that you are choosing the correct scale. Otherwise, for working, you can have another scale, but that will not necessarily get your information fitted in on the sheet as well. So changing the scale for working is temporary, but changing the scale to have your information on the drawing is more important. If we change back this to again, let's say 50. So now we can see that it is at least more fittable. And if we change again to 1:100, now it is easily coming up on the sheet. Okay, is that clear, guys? No responses. Okay, so this is about the scaling part. Then we see the grades, we saw the levels, we saw the units, we saw the template. All right. So now, since we have seen the all the basic elements, what we need to ensure that are in the project file. Another aspect what you need to be aware of is the file format. So far we saw that we got all our levels, all our grades, and other information in the file. What if you want to follow the same settings into your other projects as well? So at the starting, while creating or while starting the new project, we had chosen a template file, right? So once we have got different settings in any of the file, be it, for example, let's say we just created this file, right? What if we wanted to use the same settings in multiple projects? Though while starting, we chose the option of create a new project, right? Let me just again show you. So when we created a new, we had chosen the option of project, right? But what if you want to have these settings to be used multiple times? So there we'll go to the file option and we have got option of save as template. So what does that mean? That if we choose or if we save this file as a template, then again at the starting process where we have to choose the template, we can simply go to the required location where we might have saved this file and choose this file itself as a template. Does that make any sense, guys? Okay. So let's say I'll save this one as template file. So I saved this one as KP template. I'll close it. Now, once we start a new project, instead of choosing from this list, we can choose the option of browse. We'll go to the required location, and here we can choose the file which we just saved as template file. And once we open this, we can see that we have got all those grades, all those levels, all those other information in place already. Does that make sense now? Great. But using a template file in for creating a project file is feasible, but other way around is not feasible. Let's say I want to create a new project template file. So Ayman, that's what, like we have got both the options. Let's say I cancel this one. Right now, let me again do it. So here we got option of to create a new project. For creating a new project, first we have to use the template file. So we chose this template file. So template file, essentially it means only the datum elements, or I would say no model element, 3D element, until unless there is no 3D element in your file, you can save it as template file as well, because template file mandatorily contains only the information which is going to be used throughout different projects. So if you remember, when we created or when we opened up the architectural template, we just had got two floor plans and four elevations, right? Nothing else was there. So Autodesk has given us option that whenever you want to start working in any of the project, you definitely would be needing two floor plans and four elevations, right? But depending upon your requirement or your organization's requirement, you can have a different template as well. So just now we saw that we have got these grids also in place. We have got multiple levels in place. So now we can use that particular file as a template. And once we start putting up model elements, let's say like this is a wall, and here we have got window as well. Yes, Anzar. So necessarily it need not to be have any model elements or floor or window or anything as such. But in case, hypothetically, if you are aware or if you are sure about the fact that the same elements, the wall, the floor, the window, all those are going to be same for multiple projects. Let's say what generally happens in US side, they create a prototype. So prototype is something which contains their typical design in terms of flooring, in terms of wall, in terms of windows, in terms of staircase and everything, in terms of grades, in terms of levels. So they can save that project itself as a template, so that whenever any new site pops up for their execution, they can use that whole project as a template itself on that particular new site. So that is very rare cases. But other than that, mostly it is gonna contain information pertaining to levels and grids at max. Another thing which is, let me demonstrate that as well. This is architecture template. So why template matters? Because when you would be working with different templates, you would be having different information as well in terms of 3D elements. Let's say this is the structural template, and if we see in the wall, we haven't got properties. Done. Properties. Okay. So if we see over here, we have got a lot of wall types: interior, retaining, generic, exterior, foundation, right? But if we go to the mechanical template and again go to the wall, we have got only limited number of walls. So because of that reason as well, the different type of walls could be also part of your template, but not necessarily they have to be there in the project itself. Like they need not to be placed on your floor plan. And in case if you have those in the model itself as saved, then that could be a distinct property or characteristic of the template. I know this might sound a little confusing at first, but that's why you can, after today's session, you can take your time, go through it again and discuss. We can discuss all these things in case if it is not clear in our doubt session also. So Anzar and Aima, did I answer your question? Okay, great. So I'm just coming back to your question again. So we got saved everything as template, but once we have everything in place, then definitely we can save this as project also. So here we'll save it as KP project. So good that you got this question because it has also got very important information to discuss. So just now we saw that we saved the same thing. Like let me just delete. Yeah. So we have the same thing what we had earlier. We'll just save this back again. Okay. So we saved the same information as a template file, and just now we saved the same information as project file, right? So let me share my screen. Okay, is my screen visible for the project for the files, file explorer?
Yes.
Okay. So here we can see that we have got project KP project file and KB template file, right? One file contains all the information in terms of only information, and one file contains information in terms of modeling part as well. So here we cannot, unless we have got the name distinction, how can we differentiate, how can we know that which file is template file and which file is project file? Can anybody guess? Yes, Naga. So the type file, type information gives you the distinction of the files. Although here it is not giving us It could be possible that in Windows 10, it used to be visible easily. In Windows 11, it is not giving us the format of the file. So project file, it will have extension or file format of RVT. Okay, wherein the template file will have extension or file format of RTE. So that is the major difference or major factor to determine that which file is of which form, which usage. RTE is Revit template extension and RVT is Revit for project format. By any chance, does anybody of you have got Windows 10? Okay, we got here as well. So here now we can see that the file extensions are visible and project file has got RVT extension and template file has got RTE extension. So whenever you are working with any of the file, remember that RTE file could be used as a template file and could be saved into project file as well, right? But RVT file could not be used to create a template file. So I'll give you a quick demonstration as well. So when we, okay, sorry, let me share my screen. I'll close these. Okay. So when we create a new project template file, so to create a new project template file, we can definitely choose the project template file, right? But if you see in the same folder, we have got template Revit project file as well, but Revit is not giving us option to choose that one. So to create a template file, we can only choose a template file. Okay. And to create a new project file, there, so we can use template file to create a new template file as well, also a new project file as well. But Revit project file could not be used to create any project file. But once you have got your project opened up, you can save that project as a template file. Is that making any sense or is it too confusing? Okay, great. Sure. So now I am pretty sure, or I hope that you guys are very clear about the template file and the project file and their extensions as well, because this is quite a important theoretical information which could be asked in interview also. Okay, that how template file is different from project file and what are their extensions. Okay, great. So another important part for this starting is something which we missed out. Again, through the view tab in user interface, the properties window. So earlier we had not properties window opened up on our screen. So properties window is also something which is important at the starting of the project itself, because these properties gives you more information about the view in which you are working. Okay. And then there are again two type of properties. One is instance properties and one is type properties. So what are those two things? Actually, Sorry guys for the break. So okay. So there are two type of properties. One is instance properties and one is type properties. So what are these two type of properties? Whenever we choose any element, okay, let me close the project browser so that it will be easier to see all the properties. Okay. So now we see the properties window and it has got a lot of information. We'll be definitely looking into these aspects as well into more detail in our upcoming sessions. For today, we'll just take a brief look into it. So whenever we choose any element, be it grid, be it dimension, be it elevation tag, be it any level, uh, right? So whenever we select any element, it will show you different properties pertaining to it. Okay. So if you want to change anything, any information pertaining to that particular element only, then it will be done through the instance properties. So in hindsight, whatever is visible on your screen directly, once you choose the element, those are considered as instance properties. Okay. Then what is type properties? Type properties is something which is common among all the elements of that particular type. So let's say we have got these grids, right? Which states 6.5 mm bubble. So this is a category of grid which we have used throughout as of now. If you want to see that whether these are the same type or not, how can we do that? You will choose the one element, right click on this and choose the option of select all instance visible in view. So now you see that we have got 10 grids. So it shows that all these grids are of the same type. In case if it would have been different, let me quickly show you example of that as well. I'll go to edit type. I'll make a duplicate of it. Okay. So we changed these three grids into different type. Now if we choose, you see only 7 elements are getting selected now. Okay, so this shows that pertaining to this category, we have got all these elements. Now, if you want to make any change among all these elements, then you have to go to edit type. So once let's say I chose this element, I got instance property, it is not visible as of now. Okay, if I change this, so it changed the name of this particular grid, right? So this is instance property. If I go to the edit type, if I click on this edit type icon, it gives me additional properties or additional information pertaining to this element only. But difference is in case if I make any changes over here, it will not just get implemented only this element. It will get implemented on all the elements belonging to this category. So let's say if I change the color, right? Now we can see that all the grids belonging to that particular category has got change in its color. Is that making sense? Great. So we'll be definitely looking into these instance properties and type properties also in much detail. But for now, you just need to be aware that there are two type of properties. One is instance properties and one is type properties. Yes, IMA, it works same as similar option in AutoCAD. And we just need to right click on this and choose the option of select all instance visible in view. Okay. So that's how it is more or less very similar to AutoCAD. Okay. So, four things which are important whenever you are starting with a new project are, now it is a question to you guys. Who will give me the answer? Anybody? Question is like, what are the four important things to start with? Okay, so I got great. Very happy to see that everybody is responding. Level grids, datum elements, react, template, unit, grids level, properties. Okay. One thing which everybody has missed out. Yes, user interface and thus project browser. Without project browser having on your screen, you will not be able to navigate through your project. It will be really difficult to work. Okay. So after starting the Revit software, first go to the user interface, have your project browser and properties turned on. You can have those on top of each other, like I am having on my screen. If not, you can have it on side by side as well. Like this also, you can place it. So it completely depends upon your working preference, that how you would like to have it, and accordingly you can choose. But ensure that you have got both these windows on your screen. Properties windows as well as project browser windows. Okay. And after that, datum elements, units. Yeah. Okay. So any questions so far? Or is everything clear whatever we discussed today? Great. Sure. So, yeah, I guess more or less we have discussed all those things, what we need to be aware about at the starting of the project and how to start a new project. So, I hope everybody is clear about that. And once you have your software installed, you guys can start exploring these parts. Sure. So yeah, I guess I hope from my side, I guess that's all that I wanted to discuss with you all for today's session. And I am hoping that you all would have understood everything. In case if not, then definitely upcoming session is going to be the doubt session. There we can discuss all your queries in detail without wondering about any theoretical part to be discussed from my side. One thing what you need to ensure about doubt session is that you have got your mic and camera correctly working, so that you will be able to share your screen. You will be able to share your doubt or query through mic and camera, and then it will be very easy to discuss those things. No, Hera. You shall not practice while in class, because if you are practicing while you are attending the class, there is huge chance that you will miss out on information that we are trying to provide to you. Since we have got only two live sessions in the whole week, so two days you have to get the information from our side, and rest of the 5 days it is up to you, however you want to practice on those. Okay, great. So yeah, I guess that's all from my side for today's session. I hope you would have learned and you would have enjoyed as well. and subsequently we'll be meeting up again in the next one. Okay, guys? Okay, thank you all. Bye bye. Good night. And whoever hasn't submitted their email IDs yet, please ensure that I'm going to share the link again in the group. So whoever has missed out on it yet, please submit so that we can assign the licenses as soon as possible. Okay. Thank you all. Bye bye. Good night.